Hello there, I'm Edmund.
And I'm Heather.
And this is All Positive Reviews. The penultimate episode of Game of Thrones is here, and despite what you might read on Twitter, we have a lot of positive things to say about it.
A lot of positive things to say.
And for the first time, I'm not going to mention the music first, because that'll come later.
Okay.
The first thing I want to talk about is how gorgeous.
Oh, it was so pretty. From the very first moment to the very last scene,
Mm-hmm.
It was just a beautiful and beautifully executed episode.
I thought that episode 3 had some of the best cinematography, but this episode, with the shots of the battle, with certain sword duels,
Yes.
with the ending, with the devastation, it's absolutely breathtaking.
You just can't get better for a battle episode than Miguel
Sapochnik.
Yes.
Yes. No, he's terrific. Battle of the Bastards, Hard
Yes.
Home, The Long Night.
Yep.
He does a terrific job, and he's got that sweeping camera move that I love, where he'll just do those long single-take shots through all this devastation. You're like, these are practical effects?
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, but so many of them are.
A lot of them are. He's so good at putting you right in the middle of the fight, right in the middle of whatever's going on. He can put you right in the middle of it and make you really feel what they're going through. He does a great job with Arya and with Tyrion. You can see that. And all of them do. Jon too, but I mean at that end when you see Tyrion and Arya and they're just walking through the devastation. It's just beautiful and sad, but beautiful.
Oh, it really shows you, you see so many things that do the war is hell,
Right.
idea, but you don't see in these fantasy scenarios as much. You don't see them focus on the people. Like, usually you would be focusing entirely on Dany up there, or entirely on Jon.
Right.
But you see so much of the effect that this had.
Yeah.
And you see why people bent the knee to Aegon 300 years ago.
No kidding.
Speaking of Jon, he tried his best.
Yeah, he did.
So hard in this episode. The part where I felt for him the most was just that moment when a certain someone we'll get to later went crazy, and he is just trying to stop his own soldiers from getting caught up in the craziness.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's right after he has such a sigh of relief. Like, because they get there, and then the other, the Lannister soldiers are not fighting, and they're waiting, and they're waiting, and they're waiting. Yeah. And then finally the bells, and you just see this relief go over so many people. They're just like, oh, we don't have to fight. That's awesome.
And then Dany lost her goddamn mind.
Yeah.
But the thing that I liked about that, though, was that they did a really good job of painting both her and Cersei as the mad queens of this whole thing. Like, it felt like they could stare at each other from miles away from how hard they were just like...
Not only them, though, but as you said other times, it looked like everyone was just staring at each other. Like, even though they couldn't see each other, it looked like Cersei could see Tyrion and Arya could see the Hound, even though it was in parts
Jaime saw Cersei, which Cersei saw, and then she turned and saw Tyrion.
And I know that, it wasn't that way, but they did a good job of making it look that way, which is neat because then it kind of makes you feel like everybody is connected, which they are, but it gives you more of that feeling.
Oh, absolutely. And this was about connections and saying goodbye to certain connections, which my two favorites in this episode, because you mentioned Tyrion and Jaime. Because there's a lot less Lannisters after this episode, but the Tyrion and Jaime farewell was so touching because the best parts of Jaime, outside of those that he would have with Brienne, were with Tyrion. His unabashed, unjudging love of Tyrion. Yeah. So to have their emotions just well up like that, to have that one moment of honesty in a world perpetuated on lies, it got me.
You were the only one who didn't treat me like a monster. You were all I had.
And then Arya and the Hound.
Yes, that was probably my favorite one of those types of moments, was the two of them. and him just stopping her. And, you know, I said it during the thing, but he's probably like the best, not the best above Ned, but Ned died. So,
yeah.
Since Ned died, that was one of the best father figures Arya could have, because he never judged her on being who she was, whereas everybody else kept trying to make her a lady and crap like that, and he just wanted her to be the best her, and he did that. She was amazing, and then when it was time for her to stop, he stopped her.
Sandor. Thank you.
And she called him Sandor.
She did. You know, she had that respect for him. It was very, very touching.
I'll say that was the arc that I was the most satisfied with, was the conclusion of the Hound and Arya arc, because he really helped her survive up to this point.
Yeah.
But I love that he brought up that this works to a point. Like, it will end in your death.
Yeah.
If you continue down this way. You've
Yeah.
already done enough.
Yeah.
Like, let's call it here.
Yeah.
And so, that moment was beautiful, especially amidst all this chaos.
All the just crashing and just the two of them standing there. No, it was a wonderful, wonderful scene.
Almost as wonderful was immediately after that, when we got Clegane Bowl.
Yes, which everybody's been waiting for. We were
Mhm.
excited to see it happen, and it delivered like you wouldn't believe. It was amazing.
It did, on this... on this fantasy, like, you know, D&D kept calling it Stairway to Nowhere.
Yeah.
And it really is, when you have the dragon in the background and the Hound fighting this basically immortal zombie. And what's crazy is that Rory McGann, who plays the Hound, is 6'6" in real life.
And he looks like a freaking shrimp.
Yep.
He looks like nothing compared to the mountain.
They do such a good job of doing it, and it ends in the only way that it could.
Yes. With,
you know, what's the one thing that he hates more than fire?
Yeah, that his brother, and it was just a wonderful end. He pushed his brother into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went down too, but
no, but the way he did it, I loved it. And the funny thing is, there are moments of weird comedy amidst all the devastation in this episode. Why don't you fucking die?
Yeah, yeah.
But Qyburn's death.
Obey your queen, Sir Gregor.
Yeah.
Just so, although I loved Qyburn in this episode because he is one loyal hand of the queen.
He's loyal. He tries really hard.
He feels bad for her too.
He really does, and he's so proud of her. I really think he's just has so much respect for her for being the first queen. Like that first time you hear him say that a lot of episodes ago, when he's like, "Congratulations on being the first woman." You know, to rule Westeros. And, like, he has so much respect for her. That's why he just stays through almost anything, which I love him for that.
Yeah, R.I.P. Qyburn, because you may have been on the wrong side, but your actor and your writer, you were just terrific the whole way through.
Oh, yeah.
Not as terrific in their run because they were short, but Harry Strickland in the Golden Company.
Oh, my God, that was wonderful. The standing, and then they were gone.
Yep, but not before, and this is where I'll bring in the music, not before they had that John Carpenter's The Thing, just... I'm like, is this in the 80s? Like,
right.
In the middle between of screen time, definitely not for loyalty. You have Euron, who I gotta say, even though he went out pretty quickly in the episode, I liked two things about that. Is I liked that Euron got defeated by Daenerys through her actually using strategy. You know, she wasn't caught off guard this time.
Well, and her dragon wasn't injured.
You know, Rhaegal had very little like evasive experience.
Like, none. He had no one to guide him. He had no experience. He had holes in his wings. Like, he was sick. Like, the whole reason Jon didn't ride him was because he was like, I can't have me on his back because he needs to heal. So, took down a wounded dragon. Ooh.
But, no, I loved how quickly Daenerys switched that up on him. And I love the fact that this dude goes out like the Joker. Like, he doesn't die crying. He doesn't die whimpering. No, he's just like, ha ha ha, I got Jaime Lannister. Even though he didn't, but, you know, positive thoughts.
I mean, those wounds were going to kill Jaime.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's technically right.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, in the end, the roof caved in on him. So.
But also R.I.P. Euron, who's a very despicable character, but who, unlike Ramsay or Joffrey, I found myself just laughing with and at.
Oh, I loved his character. He was so much fun to watch. You know, he was kind of like a Negan on Walking Dead, where just such an asshole and just an evil person, but still you have a good time watching them.
Oh, and the actor has a wonderful time playing them, so
Yeah.
you kind of feel that.
Yeah.
Another one actor who absolutely, has shined through this whole thing and who has weirdly the funniest moment in the whole episode is Cersei. Because, Lena Headey, amazing job all 8
wonderful.
seasons. Fantastic. And, she was very emotional and they made you want to really feel bad for her, but I just could not help but laugh when she was wandering around that castle.
By herself.
Yeah, like she'd never been there before.
I swear there's that part where she's, in the map area, and I'm just like, does she know exactly where she's supposed to go? Like, she was just kind of walking slowly around like, usually people walk with me. I'm sure she knows where to go, but still.
Qyburn's busy then, so he can't do it. But no, she did great.
Yeah.
Amelia Clarke does an amazing job in this episode.
Oh, well, yeah.
With her villain switch. You've always said that the measure of real acting is how much of a stretch it is.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's performing all of this, the switch to madness, and just losing her shit, an entirely green screen environment, riding on like a bucking green Bronco, it's...
oh, yeah.
She did a terrific job. And it was ultimately it was a very violent but appropriately so episode. You really feel the devastation and the pain, and especially the pain of people who tried really, really hard, like Jon.
Yeah.
And Tyrion, who's constantly like, please, can we just leave the people alone? Can we just...
Yeah, I feel really bad. Well, I feel bad for everyone, like you said. Like, Jon, of course, because now he's just realized he's been wrong. And he always tries to do the loyal thing, the right thing, stick to his word. And he just gets screwed over so much. So he's so tired of it. Prediction, he goes up north with Tormund and Ghost at the end of this shit, if he lives. Tyrion I feel terrible for because he keeps going to all these lengths to make fighting not happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally he put himself on the line this last time to let Jaime go so that he could tell him and ring the bell so that she would stop. And, he went through all of this hell in hopes that, well, when she doesn't have to do it, then I'll be okay because she'll be thankful that I saved. You know what I mean? Everyone will still be happy. I feel a lot like Tyrion at times. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be okay because in the end, you know what I mean? And no, of course, that's not what she was looking for. So I don't know what's going to happen to Tyrion. And then that last shot with Arya.
Oh.
Where I feel terrible for her watching it, like as she's walking through there just devastated. God, that shot is gorgeous.
Pale horse of the apocalypse, man.
Yeah.
No, it was a gorgeous shot. I love that Arya was kind of our centerpiece for all of that on the ground.
Yeah.
Because you had Dany... you kind of forget the other 7 seasons when you see how people are screaming and running around from Dany up there.
Yeah.
You definitely feel the false narrative that Cersei was perpetuating a foreign invader, that's for sure. But no, it was an appropriate episode for that, and I did find myself, enjoying or being riveted by most of it.
Yeah.
Going into next week, my main thing right now is I'm worried about Tyrion.
I'm worried about Tyrion.
And I'm...
really worried.
And I am wondering how good it must feel for Sansa to be right. I feel like we haven't seen the last of Sansa.
Oh, no. I don't think we've seen the last. And because, yeah.
I feel like
I was going to say, wasn't Robin of the Vale going to show up? We haven't even seen Robin of the Vale this season. So I'm wondering what all is going to happen next episode. It seems like quite a bit.
Lord of the Rings Return of the King future, where Robin Arryn of the Vale actually grows a pair.
Hopefully.
That would be nice.
It would be. The only other thing I would mention is, because you said earlier about bringing up the music later, and I know you brought up one piece, however, the other piece that I would like to bring up is the end.
Oh, yes.
Where they mix the two. And it just sounds beautiful at the end when it's the
it's the 2 Lannister themes, the Reigns of Castamere and the Light of the Seven together to commemorate the passing of Jaime and Cersei.
I know we say it every time because they just have such amazing music on there, but again,
Ramin Djawadi.
Amazing.
It makes me want to watch Westworld just for this. Actually, maybe just listen to the soundtrack, but it makes me want to go there. just for the music alone.
Yes.
But anywho, y'all, we have 1 week of Game of Thrones left. See how this all wraps up. And of course, we're going to have an all-positive review of that up next week.
No matter
I know. It's going to be sad. Or it could be happy. We don't know.
Could be happy. Who knows?
We don't know. You know, maybe Danny could be like, sorry. But we're going to have more Marvel, more all kinds of movies, TV shows. We have Handmaid's Tale coming up on the horizon, some Kevin Smith movies, all kinds of stuff. So until next time, stay positive, like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.